As you get started in this online community, we encourage you to click notifications at the top of this page and select either all posts or highlights, depending on your capacity to engage and contribute. It can also be helpful to click the More button and select Pin to Shortcuts so that you can easily navigate to this group.
After this first guide, which is an introduction to the group, there are 4 core learning guides followed by some theme-specific guides. You're currently in Guide 1. Guides 2 through 5 will move you through an introduction to peace theology and skills. Guide 2 focuses on peace theology. Guide 3 gives us resources to understand ourselves and others and the roots of conflict. Guide 4 teaches you to connect with others across divides. And strategies for collaboration toward healing, well, that's Guide 5.
Guide 2 is the most theologically heavy of the 5. In this section, we'll explore how peace, in Hebrew, that beautiful holistic word shalom, is central to God's mission. We'll think about how seeking shalom, the restoration of all things, plays out in our day-to-day Christian walk. The subsequent guides, 3 through 5, include some theological elements, but primarily focus on the practical peace-building skills.
Specifically, Guide 3 focuses on understanding ourselves, others, and the roots of conflict. Empathy and curiosity are key postures for this section, paving the way for growth and understanding. Taking the time to understand this broader context builds internal capacity for meaningful connection across lines of difference.
The focus of Guide 4 is connecting with others across social divisions and conflict situations. When we do so, we step into our vocation as healers, working with God to restore broken relationships, while experiencing our own internal restoration along the way. Mutuality is the key value to lean into as we move through this section. It counters the harmful savior complex mentality, which can pop up unexpectedly during times of connecting.
One gentle warning. If we skip over the process of understanding, Guide 3, we likely will not have the necessary internal capacities to sustain meaningful relationships across differences. That's in Guide 4. At the same time, the steps aren't always linear. Sometimes new relationships prompt a desire and need for deeper understanding. If you notice this within yourself, feel free to circle back to Guide 3 before moving on to other guides.
Lastly, Guide 5 provides resources to help us scale up efforts to connect across divisions, giving us vision and strategies for collaborating in unlikely partnerships to work for justice, healing, and God's shalom in our wider communities and cities. Collaboration cannot be done without the understanding and connecting work described in Guides 3 and 4. Collaboration is always costly, yet deeply meaningful. It requires leveraging power and privilege for the sake of our mutual restoration.
There are additional optional guides that you'll find after Guide 5. Guide 6 introduces spiritual practices to sustain peace work. Guide 7 addresses theological questions related to peace building. The remaining guides go deeper into specific themes, including Christian-Muslim relations, working for racial justice, and the Israel-Palestine conflict.
As you navigate through this group, we encourage you to take ownership of the space. What might that look like? Here are 3 ideas our team came up with. First, comment on posts about your learning. This builds community. Second, post in the group with related opportunities or resources. This gives others the chance to learn from and alongside you. Third, lean into the group's wisdom by sharing a question that you're wrestling through. This can feel vulnerable, but it does a lot to deepen relationships, even virtually. And remember, we're in this with you. Now, let's follow Jesus together as everyday peacemakers.